The crypto market is not looking good, you guys. Could this possibly be the end of the bull market and the beginning of the bear market? When I look at the hourly chart, we are seeing red. When I look at the daily, we are seeing red. When I look at the 1 week, prices are still red. When I look at the price of Bitcoin, we can see prices are moving down. It even went below to that 107K price range. We're seeing a small recovery right now, but could prices potentially go even lower, or are we going to see a recovery? When I take a look at the fact that we are in the month of August, which traditionally is the second best month of the entire year for the month of crypto, which is actually turning out to be the third worst month that we've had this entire year, what is going to happen for the rest of the year? So we're going to deep dive. We'll look at Bitcoin T8. We're going to look at Ethereum, Solana, and some other major crypto project as well. Now, we know that this original downtrend right here was caused because of Donald Trump putting out the tweet of the tariff that America is going to put on China. And we know no one likes that contention between America and China because of their business relationship. We need each other. Now, when you look at Donald Trump's actual Twitter, there was nothing negative that was actually posted today. He actually talked about his conversation that he had with President Putin, and President Putin congratulated him. President Putin congratulated Trump in regards to bringing peace to the Middle East, which is something that Putin himself said he had dreamed for centuries. So this was very positive. The market would traditionally have a positive reaction to this, but prices were still going down. And the reason why, because people got greedy, FOMO, and they decided to get emotional and trade on leverage. If we look at how people were trading on leverage based on the 1 day, we can see that there were significantly more people that took long position than short position. So when people saw that the crypto market was moving in the downwards direction, when this happened, people lost a lot of money, which we've seen in my prior YouTube video. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go and watch it. Now, if I scroll a little bit lower, we can see, well, how are the leverages that were taken just recently? If you look just today, you guys, there was significantly more leverages on the 7 day on the 1 day. And if I were to switch this 1 day to 7 days, you guys can see there was even more leverage taking right there. People were taking 50x leverage. People were taking 100x leverage. Switching that to the 7 day again, we can see people were taking significantly leverage, expecting prices to go down. And we have to understand this concept when it comes to investing and trading. When we are seeing that there's a large amount of people that are taking leverage, leaning significantly towards one side, the market will move in the inverse of that to liquidate these traders, to liquidate them so that they're able to still make their profit, because the exchanges, these platforms, they do not want to lose their money. So one thing you can do to stop yourself from getting liquidated is watch this video right here where I break down key things you can do to not get liquidated, to make smarter investment and to make smarter trades. And we have to remember not to FOMO in, because what a lot of people did was right now, because the market was going down and they lost money, they got angry, they got upset, they decided to revenge trade. Oh my goodness, I put in $5,000 and I lost my money. I'm so frustrated. So they doubled down and decide to now put in $10,000. And what happens when you do that? Emotional decision, emotional trade leads to bad decisions. And now we're seeing more people get liquidated and lose their money. But how low can the market go right now? Well, one thing you notice that right now, Bitcoin is actually at a crucial level of support. This range right here, which is below that 108 all the way down to that 105 price range. Right now, we're sitting at that 108 level. Now, if you zoom out, you guys will see right here, I highlighted this area of significance because every time we hit this area, we bounce towards the upside. We hit it again, we bounce towards the upside. We hit, we bounce towards the upside. Here we can see we hit that same area once again, and then we bounce towards the upside. Now, when I zoom out, we can see we actually performed this bearish structure right here where we performed our left shoulder, then we had our head, and then we had our right shoulder. And we know how this typically plays out with prices breaking towards the downside. And if you zoom in even closely, we can see we had the same pattern repeat, but on a smaller scale. Right here, we can see prices ran towards the upside right there, boom. And then we created our head And then voila, another shoulder. And if you measure the movements between the top of that head to the bottom of that neckline, it should give us the lowest where we could go. But we know TA is not 100%, but it does give us an idea of where prices could potentially go, which would take us to that 102 BTC price range. Now, keep in mind, if we do see BTC get this low, our alts will get absolutely obliterated. But here is the thing. We have a lot of things that are in place right now that could potentially reverse and cause prices to start moving towards the up. Number one, starting with China and the US. Trade war brings uncertainties. Investors don't like that. We already seen how the market reacted when there was a tariff war between the US and China. So if Donald Trump were to pull out his phone and said, hey, we had a great conversation with the president of China and we're able to resolve things, then we are probably going to see the market pump. On top of that, because we have the president of Ukraine coming to DC, and if that conversation goes well, that shines another light. And because we have the president of Ukraine coming to Washington, if that conversation goes well, we'll know about it, and that will probably have a positive effect on the market. Also, we are waiting for data. We know if we get positive data, it will affect the market in a positive way. We're waiting for CPI data, PPI data. Now, with the government shutting down, it obviously delays those data. But when those numbers come in, and if those numbers are good, it will show a strengthening economy instead of a weakening one. And a huge one that is happening within 2 weeks from now, the Federal Reserve meeting, where they're going to decide, will we be increasing interest rates or will we be dropping interest rates? We already know we want them to drop rates, because if we drop rates, then we know that is good for our crypto, that is good for our stock, that is good for our risk on assets. They will move more in price because they become more attractive to invest in. Now, as of right now, we're forecasting a 0.25% rate cut, which is expected to happen 92%. Now, keep in mind, when we have these stats that tell us we have a 92% chance of getting that 0.25% basis cut, a lot of times now, similar to what the most recent rate cut is, because we expected, it's already forecasted in the market. So the day of October 25th, we actually may not see the market pump, or we may see the market pump prior to that as we get closer to that date, as we receive more confirmation to say, yes, rates will be cut. Now, let's talk about where we could potentially see the market move right now. We can see that this candlestick right here, it's fighting for its life, deciding, is it going to be red or is it going to be green? Hopefully that closes red, because I have highlighted this major level of support right here. And you guys can see this level of support has held really well. Every time prices hit this range, it has ran towards the upside. Hit here, ran towards the upside. Hit once again right here, ran towards the upside. If we go even further back, hit here, another point, another point, another point, it has ran towards the upside. So showing us that investors and traders, when they see Bitcoin towards that 109 all the way down to that 105 price range, they know this is a steal. This is Bitcoin at a discount, and they accumulate. So hopefully this price holds and we potentially see prices move towards the downside. But I won't be surprised if we do see prices potentially go down a little bit lower towards that 105 range, which is the bottom of that major level of support that I have drawn out for you. Now, let's take a look at now with Ethereum, we had prices do a fairly good run towards the upside, to the point where it actually almost did a 100% recovery. This was the original downfall when Trump put out that tweet that they were going to tear off China 100%. Prices went down dramatically, but prices ended up running back up to pretty much to where it was previously at, but it just couldn't get up that much higher. And now we saw a rejection at this level, a rejection at this level, and we're seeing a rejection at this level. The good thing is, with prices moving towards this downward direction, a lot of times we typically see it go and break towards the upside and move a little bit higher. But if prices do struggle within this zone and actually breaks towards the downwards direction, I won't be surprised if we see prices hit that $36,000 price range before it has some type of bounce going back towards the upside. Now, when looking at Solana's pattern was actually really easy to spot, right? Shout out to the Lit Squad. We bought the dip right here on Sol. prices end up running up, and actually took profit right there. And the reason why was, if you take a step back and just really look at Solana's chart, we can see that Solana, between that price, that $177 towards that $173 is a major level of support for Sol. Here you can see we hit that range and then prices ended up running back. You can see right here, multiple point of contact, price ran back up. Right here, we can see another point of contact, price ran up. And even if we look further, we can see price ran up every time it hit this major level of support. So right now, Sol is actually breaking its 185K support, and it's moving towards the downside. And if this continues, I expect Sol to hit within this range, and I expect this to hold, so we could potentially see some type of move like this before prices start reversing to move back towards the upside. But when it comes to Solana, I am bullish on it just because we have a Solana ETF coming into play. And if things regarding the economy, we start getting some bullish news, that ETF that should be coming out next month, I think is going to do really good for Sol and for a lot of layer 2 crypto projects that are built on the Sol ecosystem. And when it comes to XRP, you guys, XRP is hurting right now. XRP is hurting. We need to be 100% transparent, right? We seen right here at XRP held that level once again. That same area, right? This same major area which we needed to hold, it seems like it's actually breaking it, and prices are moving towards the downside. And if prices move towards the downside, if you scroll, this is where our next major level of support for XRP is, because of this area in which we actually saw prices bounce up. Right here, we can see price bounce within this zone. It got close, bounce. It got close, bounce. It got close, bounce. It got close, bounce. I don't have to show it. You guys can just see it repeatedly every time XRP hits this range. Then we see it bounce towards its upside, noting that is the next major level of support for XRP. So if XRP cannot hold where it's currently at, that $2.30 price range, then we could potentially see it drop down towards that $2 price range. So that's something we really don't want to see for XRP, because I know a lot of you love XRP, but the truth is, when it comes to investing and trading, there's a rule that I live by, and I want every single person to remember this right now. What is this? What is this, you guys? That is a ring on my finger. I am married. I am married to a beautiful, amazing woman, and I love her. And she is the only one that I am married to. She's the only one that gets all my time and attention. I will not marry XRP. I will not marry Ethereum. I will not marry Bitcoin. So what I mean by that is, don't get overly attached to a crypto project to a point where you never take profit. We have to realize we are in this game. We are in the world of crypto, in the world of investing, in the world of trading for one reason only, which is to make profit. Meaning, when you see that crypto project pump and it's moving towards the upside, you have to be willing to take a little bit of profit. I'm not saying sell everything, but you have to sell a little bit for situations like this when prices go down, so you're not left thinking, I regret it. I remember that amazing, handsome chocolate guy from YouTube, Naicke Kalala, telling me to take profit. I should have taken profit. But what do you do in these times of certainty? You guys, what I teach everyone in my private community is, do not chase the crumbs when you can eat at a buffet. So what that means is, you have to wait for confirmation. I am perfectly fine not doing any trades, not doing any investment, not buying anything until I get confirmation, until prices hit a certain level that indicates to me, oh, yes, prices are about to move higher, because that's when I buy back in. When we have more clarity, when we have more confidence, and we have more data, when we know we're at a key level of support that tells us prices are most likely going to move up instead of prices moving towards the downside. If you have any questions, drop them below. If you like this video, hit that like button so that the YouTube people can show more investors and traders this video, because we can all win in crypto.